Good morning. Today we will discuss about asexual reproduction in which area. So asexual reproduction in which area occurs through three different modes, three different type of spores. One is zoospore, another is aplanospore and another is akinets. So here we will discuss in detail about zoospores, how zoospores are formed. So this is a normal filament of a thallus of a wucheria. So you can see in a normal filament, in the center there is a big vacuole, and around this vacuole there are large number of nuclei, and at the periphery there are large number of chromatophores in which photosynthetic pigments are there. So we will discuss how zoospore are formed by a stepwise process. So in the first step, this filament will swells towards its tip. So here you can say it will become swollen towards the tip, and the nuclei from the lower part and also protoplasm from the lower part will migrate towards this swollen part. Then after migration of nuclei, what will happen? A septum is laid down which separate lower part of filament into the upper part of filament, and the size of this vacuole will reduce in this swollen part. Here you can see the vacuole is smaller than it is in the normal filament. Now septum is laid down which separates it from the lower part. So after formation of septum, it becomes a structure, a rounded structure, and this structure in future will form zoospore. So any structure that contains zoospore will be called as zoosporangium. So now this swollen parts become zoosporangium after the laid down of this septa. So now after becoming separate from the lower part, the next process will be the vacuole will disappear. The smaller vacuole that was present in the center will be disappear. And here in this you can see that there is vacuole in the center, and towards this vacuole many nuclei are there. Why many nuclei? Because the thallus or the filament of wucheria are multinucleate, or you can say cenocytic. So many nuclei are there around vacuole, and at the periphery there are many chromatophores. You can see the green colored structures are chromatophore and the black colored structures are nuclei, and this is nucleus. So you can see chromatophores are towards the periphery and nuclei are towards the center. So in the next step, what will happen? Nuclei will exchange their position with the chromatophores. So their position will be reversed. Nuclei will come towards periphery and chromatophore will migrate towards center, and this vacuole will become disappear. So now we have chromatophore towards center and nuclei towards outside. But now in the next step, protoplasm will contract from the cell wall. Here you can say the old protoplasm is in contact in this and also in this structure. The protoplasm is in contact with the cell wall. Now by losing some amount of water, it will contract from the cell wall. Now this is the protoplasm. This is the wall protoplasm, and this is empty space. Now there is a space between protoplasm and the wall. And another important step that will occur in this stage is flagella will develop opposite to each nuclei. Now you can see there are many nuclei, they are towards the periphery, and in the center there are chromatophores. So flagella will develop from each nuclei, and the flagella, there will be two flagella will arise from each nuclei, and the flagella will be of dissimilar in size. One will be V plus and one other will be tin cell. One will be larger and another will be smaller. So here, from this step to this step, the key happening is protoplasm V will contract from the cell wall and flagella will develop opposite to each nuclei. There will be two flagella opposite to each nuclei because there are two basal granules, and from each basal granules one flagella will appear. So you can say from each nuclei two flagella will be developed. Now this structure is called zoospore, but now till now it is inside an enclosed structure that is called zoosporangium. So it is enclosed in a zoosporangium. Now the wall of zoosporangium, this wall, upper wall of zoosporangium will gelatinize and form a aperture. This wall will gelatinized and form a apical aperture. This aperture is called apical aperture. Now zoospore will come out from the zoosporangium through this apical aperture. It will come out. Now this is a zoospore. So you can see here zoospore in case of Wucheria is somewhat different from other zoospores. Why? Why it is different? Because it is multinucleate and multiflagellated. So there are many nuclei you can see, and from each nuclei two flagella will develop. So there are many flagella also. So this type of zoospore is called compound zoospore, synzoospore or cynozoospore. So you can say it compound zoospore, synzoospore and cynozoospore. Now after coming out through this apical pore, it will swim for some time in water, then it will settle on any substratum. After swimming, it may swim around 5 to 15 minutes. Then after swimming, it will settle down on any substratum and reabsorb its flagella. Its flagella will disappear. Then after reabsorption of flagella, it will secrete a thin cellulose wall around itself. So it will secrete a thin you can see thin cellulose wall around the zoospore. Now this zoospore is without flagella. Now the next step will be exchange of position. So you can see nuclei exchange with chromatophore in this step also. Now the reverse of this will occur. Now nuclei will come to center once again and chromatophore will go towards periphery once again. So now it reverts back to its original position that was present in a filament. So after exchange between nuclei and chromatophore, it will germinate and it will produces, during germination, it will produces two outgrowths. First one is, one outgrowth will form rhizoid that will attach it to the, this is rhizoid, to the substratum, and other outgrowth will form filaments of this thallus. So this is all about formation of zoospore, how zoospore develops in a simple filament. So the swollen tip will be there, then nuclei will migrate, then exchange of position will be there, then protoplasm contraction, flagella will develop, apical pore will form, and then after it will liberate, it will swim for some time, then it will reabsorb its flagella and secrete a thin cellulose wall, and it will exchange their position again, then it will produce two outgrowths, one will form rhizoid and another will form filaments. So this is all about zoospore. And our next is aplanospore. Aplanospore are the spores that are non-motile spores. Motile spores are called zoospores and non-motile spores are called aplanospores. So the development of aplanospore is very similar to the development of zoospore. The only difference in aplanospore is that there will be no flagella. So this step will not be there. Formation of flagella will not be there. Contraction of protoplasm from the cell wall will occur, but flagella will not appear there. And if they will not appear, they will not disappear during this position. So the conclusion is the difference between formation of zoospore and aplanospore is the absence of flagella in case of aplanospores. So this is all about formation of zoospore and aplanospore of Wucheria. Thank you.